Hi guys, this is Mark Valenti with Blind Dog Gym in Lorain, Ohio. I haven't done one of these in a while. We've had quite a busy summer, but I thought we'd get back into it this week now that some things are coming to an end. We're about to close down our summer series with an event next weekend called the Dog Park. That's going to be a 4-person team competition where you sign up and we pick your teams as you come in the door. So sign up for that online. Last weekend we did our big event of the year, the Alpha Dog, our big CrossFit event of the year. We saw some pretty incredible performances, including our girl Jerry May, who ended up doing a clean of 175 at a body weight of about 115 soaking wet. It was a pretty solid clean, and really brought the house down when she did it. That being said, and that taken care of, what I wanted to get into today, now that we're approaching the fall, is a subject that's kind of near and dear to my heart. As many of you know, I was a professional heavy events athlete for 17 years. Made it to the Celtic Classic a handful of times, and the Celtic Classic being our national championships for Highland Games athletes. When I trained as a Highland Games athlete, I was primarily West Side style conjugate training. I did very little Olympic lifting, a lot of the power lifts, box squatting. I pulled sumo in the deadlift. It worked well for the time I was competing. I took not a lot of heat, but I got a lot of advice from people while I was throwing, and I always preach that you should keep your mouth shut and your ears open, and I probably should have done that a little bit more while I was throwing, but I'd been in the sport for so long and kind of set in my ways that I didn't always take that advice. But some pretty good athletes had told me, if you just switched your training up a little bit and did some more athletic things, you probably would throw even further than you did. Well, I didn't take their advice. I was a little set in my ways. But now that I've gotten out of the sport and gotten to do a little bit of different type of training and worked with, and I'm now working with CrossFit athletes, I truly believe that heavy events athletes can benefit from a more athletic training program, including some Olympic lifting, gymnastics, and believe it or not, conditioning. There's a lot of myths out there that you need to be super heavy, otherwise known as super fat, in order to throw far. And I had been up to 312 pounds myself, and it just really isn't the case. The excess weight does not make you throw further. There's some great examples out there. Matt Sanford was a 4-time heavy events champion, and the guy was lean and muscular and strong as heck. You don't have to look like a truck driver in order to throw these weights far. Matt Vincent's a great example of it. He lost about 30 pounds this year, and we had talked earlier in the year about how he was struggling a little bit, and I told him, you just gotta adjust to those weights, and not having that 300 pounds to counter against the 56 when it's pulling on you. And once you do that, your weights will start going up again. And he totally agreed and was really doing a good job at being patient. And he dialed it in when he needed to, and ended up winning another world championship against a guy who was much, much larger than he was. Speaking of the guy who beat him, Dan McKim, here's another guy who is not a big fat guy. He's there's not a lot of excess weight on him. He's tall and strong, and he doesn't have a lot of excess body weight holding him back. You can't be fast when you're carrying that much extra weight. It's just not going to happen. I just got asked to do a 12-week program for an ebook that's coming out for charity. It's going to be released on the EFS website, Elite Fitness Systems. A lot of strength coaches, they put their programming in and they sell the ebook for charity. And what I did with my program is focusing on a 12-week program in the off season for Highland Games athletes, trying to get them stronger, faster, and in better condition for the season to come. When you're in better condition, everything improves. Your throwing will improve, your training will improve. If you're able to take that hour of training and make it more dense by being more in shape and cutting your rest periods down, if you're able to do more work in a shorter amount of time, it stands to reason that you're going to get better. Louis used to talk about making your training as dense as possible in that hour or so you have to train. And I couldn't agree more. If you cut those rest periods down, you don't need to sit on a bench for 5 minutes between sets. If you get to a point where, your heart rate can work, your strength levels can work with a high heart rate, you're going to be much better off. And that goes along with things like, when we used to run with cabers, you get done with that and you'd be out of breath and gasping for air. I have no doubt in my mind that I could run with a caber right now and feel just fine at the end and turn it just as well as I did a year ago. We did the Highlander championships at the gym this year, and I was crashing into the bar at 16 feet, which would have been very tough for me to do when I was competing, and I was doing it seemingly pretty easy, and I hadn't practiced at all, and I think it's a combination of being in better shape, being more explosive, and just being more athletic. We throw a lot of gymnastic stuff in our training protocols, and that's not going to hurt you either. Get upside down on the wall, learn how to do handstand push-ups, do some work on the rings. Again, Matt Vincent's been working on his strict muscle-ups. Why? Because you should be good at everything. Get better at everything. Becoming more athletic is never going to hurt your throwing. Adrienne Wilson's another one who's been on video doing muscle-ups and stuff. Another girl who, is not fat at all and is throwing really far. Just don't get into that notion that you need to be a big fat guy to be strong or to throw far. It just isn't the fact. Guys that are in shape are the better athletes. Everything else being equal. You get in the best shape you possibly can, and you want that high strength to body weight ratio, and that's what's going to make you explosive. It's going to make you throw further. It's going to make you a better athlete all around. If anyone has questions about the training program I put together for the ebook, or if they have any questions about implementing more CrossFit style training into their programs this off season, I promise you won't lose your gains. Give me a holler. My email is blinddoggym@gmail.com. Again, you can always visit the website, blinddoggym.com, and hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All right, that's enough for this week, and throw far, train hard, and we'll see you soon.